Thousands of Alabama students could end up repeating third grade. That's if they don't meet a certain score at the end of this school year. As part of the Alabama Literacy Act, today the State Board of Education set the cut score for third grade students. The cut score is 435. However, students who don't reach that score will have a chance to attend summer programming and could still advance to the fourth grade.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellow Hammer Now. Do you remember when the Alabama Literacy Act passed? Do you know what year that was? Do you even know what it is? The Alabama Literacy Act says if you can't read by the time you finish third grade, you can't progress to the fourth grade. Why? Well, simply put, they decided to pass this because studies have found that if you cannot read by the time you move to the fourth grade, you're screwed the rest of the way. For the first couple of years, they teach you how to read, and then after that, you read to learn. That's how all of this is supposed to work. If you can't read, then you can't progress. So you shouldn't progress. And it all makes complete sense. Anyone paying attention to this gets it completely and understands this is one way you will get the reading scores up, because a couple of things are going to happen. One, the schools are going to have motivation to get these kids passing and making sure they can read. Two, the parents are going to have motivation to get these kids passing and making sure that they can read. Three, the kids are going to have motivation to get passing and making sure that they can read. Why? Because none of them want to be held back and stay in the third grade. That's another year for the school system. It's another year for the parents. It's another year for the kids. It's all very simple to understand. But the question here really becomes, is the standard real? Over the last couple of years, they've punted on this. And they said, we don't really want to do this. Yeah, we talked about it a lot, but we didn't really want to do it. They said COVID was the reason they punted, and they said, oh no, let's not hold any kids back, so they kicked it back a year or so. There was talk about kicking it back another year. They said, no, we're not going to do that. So what did they do? They lowered the score. Check it out.
Tonight, a major change is coming to Alabama schools. The State Board of Education today voted 5-3 to lower the reading score third graders must achieve in order to move to fourth grade. The Literacy Act this year requires third graders reach a certain reading score on a statewide test in order to go to fourth grade. Today, board members lowered that score 2 standard errors below what's considered grade level reading. Superintendent Eric Mackey says the change comes as the state adopts a new, more difficult test. He estimates with the new score, 10,000 to 12,000 students will be held back.
Principals have got to prepare for that. Principals have got to know they're going to have more students in third grade than they're used to. That might be moving some teachers from, say, a fourth grade classroom to third grade. It might mean that they have to, in some cases, reorganize a whole school district.
Mackey says while pass rates will go down this school year, he expects they will increase over time. Board members who voted against the change say this lowers the bar and will ultimately hurt students.
That's exactly right. It lowers the bar. It will ultimately hurt students. I think that's pretty obvious in all of this. At least it should be pretty obvious to almost all of us here who are paying attention. They're lowering the standard to below grade level. Is that even what the law says? I mean, is that it? And if you're lowering it to below grade level, you're not getting these kids where they need to be. Now, that's good for the schools, but I do question the logic of Eric Mackey's statement that the principals and superintendents have to get ready for this. It's 2023. This law was originally passed in 2019. You already punted it away. I'm using the word punt a lot, but you've already said we're going to not do this for a year or so in order to deal with COVID learning loss. And now the time has come to actually let the consequences come home, and they don't want to do that either, because they have to figure out how they're going to handle this and how they're going to fix this problem. That's what should have been happening all along. But here we are, once again, not wanting the consequences of the failure to teach these kids to read. And those consequences, well, we'll just kick them down the road. Now, who does this help? The kids? No, because as we know, the reason why we passed the law is because if you can't read by this point, you're not going to do well moving forward. So it doesn't help the kid. It helps the school system. This is all just about helping the school systems. That's it. And once again, it's about helping the schools and not the kids. The kids do not benefit from this. They are not the beneficiaries. They are the victims here. They will be screwed by this. Holding the kid back does not screw the kid. Asking the kid to go do remedial stuff over the summer to get up to standard doesn't screw the kid. Passing a kid who can't read to the next level and then making sure he's going to be behind from there on out, that screws the kids. And that's exactly what they're doing here.